Hi, this is Ellen08, and I'm going to talk about season 13 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 4. Before I forget, I'm sick and tired of hearing about Magic Mike and Sutton can't get a second date. And I just hope after this episode, the ladies just let it go, including Garcelle. I know Garcelle is Sutton's good girlfriend and all, but just let it go. And I realize that it's just a continuation from the last episode when they were in Vegas, but I'm just sick and tired of hearing about it. So the ladies prepare for going to lunch. Garcelle and Sutton are gonna eat lunch together. Crystal and Erica are gonna hang out together, and of course Dorit and Kyle. Before the respective pairs go off for lunch, Dorit and Kyle have conversations with their respective husbands. Dorit tells PK about how it went with that Magic Mike, and she relays she was just bitching about how Sutton just went off in a huff. And PK comments, maybe Sutton should have went off to see Mary Poppins instead. And Dorit's got her nerve. I'm saying that right now. She had her nerve with Garcelle, and now she's having the same nerve with Sutton, like getting all close to her. It's like later on in the Sprinter Van, she gets all close to her. It's like, don't get close to me. Like, go sit back over there where you were. Let's see what else. Oh, he also tells her that he had a dinner. He went out to dinner with Mauricio, and it was there that Mauricio told him about the rough year that he was having with Kyle. Why he's telling Dorit this, I don't know. But yeah. And let's see. Oh yeah, when Dorit was bitching about how mortifying it was to see how Sutton reacted, it's like, yeah, it was also mortifying to see you discount Garcelle's feeling when she was trying to set boundaries. That's also mortifying, especially when you made Garcelle's personal feelings all about you, and that's not fair either. Yeah, Dorit's just getting on my nerves throughout this episode. In a flashback, we see a flashback of PK and Mauricio eating together. And PK notices how soft Mauricio is when it involves his wife and how he doesn't want to fight with Kyle. And Mauricio admits he doesn't have the time or energy to fight with her, to waste his time fighting with her. And then he just says, you know what, whatever Kyle says is right. And PK says, well, Kyle can't always be right. And that's true. I mean, there are disagreements. And there comes a time when one partner or the other will realize, okay, I was wrong about this or that, and I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some denial somewhere, but who am I to say anything? Now, Kyle is in the other room talking to Mauricio, and Mauricio also brings up how he had a dinner date with PK and everything was good. Kyle doesn't seem like she's buying it, per the question. Now, can you give me the girl version? Meaning, what was he really feeling? Was there drama? She wanted to know if there was any drama, basically. All right, so Crystal and Erica go off to lunch, and Crystal talks about what a good time that everybody's having, except Sutton. And we all know why. All Erica saw was that people had left, so of course she and Crystal don't really know the half of why people were leaving or how Sutton came to the point of her freaking out. And Crystal's opinion basically parallels Kyle's and Garcelle's implications that maybe if Sutton was picked to go on stage first, that she would have a better time. Yeah, maybe. Erica decides not to give it any energy because she's focused on being in a place where there's no drama and it's just peace instead. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm happy that she's not going off anybody right now, but we'll see how long this peaceful Erica lasts. Okay, cute to Garcelle and Sutton. I almost said Garden. Okay, Garcelle announces that she has a surprise for Sutton, and I was just making the joke. It's like, let's hope it's a fine male dance. We'll give Sutton a lap dance so she'll be happy. And it's a gondola ride for both of them. The gondola guide asks them about their time in Vegas. Garcelle brings up that they went to Magic Mike the previous night. And the look on Sutton's face, just like, okay, are we doing this again? Are we really going to talk about this? The guide says that, oh, Magic Mike, that's the hottest ticket in town. And that's all on that. Let's see. Sutton asks Garcelle how she's feeling. And I'm assuming, and it's obviously about the conversation at breakfast that she had with the ladies about how she didn't trust the ladies when it concerns her children, or talking about her children. Garcelle is honest and said that she feels unsettled about the conversation, but she's glad she's gotten her feelings out all the same. And she realized that her feelings weren't as well received as she was hoping for. And as Garcelle keeps talking to Sutton, the gondola guide decides to break out in song. And as he keeps singing, I noticed that the ladies were looking like they were trying not to laugh, as if to say, like, what in the world is he doing? Now, if that were me, at that point it was starting to get a little annoying, and at that point I'd be like, dude, you do see and hear that I'm talking to my friend, right? Is all that necessary? Hush. But I'm not Garcelle, so anyway. Now we get to Kyle and Dorit and their lunch date. And they were talking about how they didn't get any sleep until 2 in the morning. And then Dorit felt that this was the time to bring up the conversation that Garcelle had with the group. And she was hurt by it. Oh well. Garcelle was relaying her personal feelings and was trying to set boundaries. It's not about you, Dorit. Get over it. Not everything revolves around you. And I believe you expressed to her in the past that you want her to be more honest with the group and express her feelings. She did. You couldn't take it. That's your problem, not hers. And then Dorit moves on to talking about Kyle not wanting to drink anymore and her working out more and her tattoos. And Kyle expresses that when she was drinking and being social, people expected that from her because that was Kyle being fun. But now that she's not drinking, the people are wondering, where's the fun Kyle? Like, why isn't she drinking anymore? As if to say that she's boring. We can't take her now. And Kyle feels like she has to do what is expected of her, otherwise people won't like her, won't want to be around her. And it's at this point where it's like, you know what? You can't worry about what people think of you, especially when you're talking about doing something that's supposed to help you in the long run, and that's not drinking. If it's to help you in the long run, who cares what other people think? You have to accept the fact that you don't even have to accept the fact that you're born. Just let them think that you are, because this is not about their journey. It's not about them. It's about you and your journey, and that's it. You're not their child, so who cares? Now back to Crystal and Erica. Crystal asked Erica, what's been going on with her the last couple of years, as far as her anger, her nastiness, and how she was acting, and her drinking from the last season, or just basically what's going on with her in general. And Crystal also asked Erica if she misses the life that she had when she was with Tom. Erica says that there are parts of her life that she misses, which is like the warmth of Christmas is past. And then there's things that she does not miss, which is the fighting and the arguing, the pressure from being with Tom. And that they both descended into resentment for each other. Erica realizes that she could never go back to the life that she lived, and everything that she went through has changed her forever. And yeah, we saw those changes. Next scene, well, Dorit tells Kyle that Mauricio and said to PK about the rough year that he and Kyle had. And then that's when Kyle goes into her confessional and says, while Mauricio has to be out and about to be social because of his business, there are many times where Kyle prefers to stay at home and read and do whatever instead of going out and being as social or drinking along with him. And this is more proof that there is trouble in paradise with them, and that because Kyle is not happy in her relationship, she decides to focus on herself while Mauricio is more focused on his business. And that's how she realized that she and Mauricio, while still married, are mentally going their separate ways, and that's a problem. After the gondola ride, Sutton and Garcelle meet with Oliver for dinner. Not going to really go into that because, yeah. Anyway, now there's a montage of the ladies preparing, like dressing up in their country girl or cowgirl wear to go into a restaurant. I think there was the first was a restaurant and then it was a country bar. But anyways, at the restaurant, they order their food and drinks, and Garcelle announces that she has another card game that they can play. Crystal reads from the first card and it says, "Is monogamy natural for humans?" Some of the ladies say no. Erica offers her perspective and says that at the end of the day, they're all mammals, and she uses lionesses as an example. She says that the lionesses pick out the younger and stronger male lion in order to provide for her. Dorit in her confessional imitates Erica and wonders what she's talking about because Erica didn't go after the younger male lion, but the older one, thinking that he was going to provide. You look where she is. Look what happened with that. Kyle, on the other hand, feels like it's individual, like it's just someone people deal with that they have to suppress, venturing out to find other people to to mac on with instead of being monogamous and only sleeping with one person. Personal experience, perhaps? You be the judge. Question 2. If you find out infidelity one time, is one time enough to let it go? Dead silence until Kyle answers that she doesn't know. Then we get a flashback montage of cheating rumors about Mauricio being brought up. I think it was seasons 4 and 5. So we could tell that this is definitely a sore spot for Kyle because she's been through having cheating rumors being brought up to her from the ladies within the group, like Lisa Vanderpump and Brandy Glanville. Erica asked Garcelle's perspective on the whole thing, and Garcelle said in her confessional, was it her confessional? It was her confessional, that she thought she found the love of her life, and then she realized that he's been cheating on her during their marriage for 5 years with some woman in Chicago. She retaliated via email to his friends and to the mutual friends that she and her ex-husband shared. Question 3. At what point does money stop making people happier, and have you reached that point? Dorit says that she knows plenty of billionaires that she would not want to trade places with, so she hasn't experienced it herself, but she just knows that she wouldn't want to trade places with them. Garcelle can't imagine having as much money as billionaires. Erica answers the question in this way. The moment that the lights are on, everything is taken care of when one doesn't have to fear the next bill. Nowadays, Erica has anxiety whenever she sees a bill because that involves money, and that means you better pay up. And she's had her share of dealing with bills, lawsuits, and just basically worrying about money as far as assets from court, bills. And it leads her to talking more and more about the importance of starting from the bottom to rebuild her life and taking the power back that she felt she lost when she was married to Tom. And Garcelle comments that this was the first time that Erica was being real and genuine about the whole thing to the group on this. And Erica says that it was hard for her to admit this because she was busy being on defense mode from what everybody was throwing at her. Another celebration for Crystal, and it's the cast of Michael Jackson 1, Cirque du Soleil, coming out to say happy birthday to her. And I'll bet the 40th is one for the books for her. And that Crystal congratulates Sutton and Garcelle on making this birthday weekend in Vegas a special one for her. They go to another bar which has the mechanical bull. They see a guy riding on the mechanical bull standing up. Looking at that, it's like, yeah, I definitely can't do that. Like, I barely lasted some seconds myself on a mechanical bull at a club. So I couldn't do what that guy was doing, and I couldn't last as long as Kyle and Sutton have. Can't do it. Maybe it'll change for me when I try to do it again, but until then, can't do it. As far as the guy standing on the mechanical bull, Dorit remarks that maybe that could be Sutton's cowboy. Yeah, maybe that's like a reference to Sutton getting some attention that she did not get at Magic Mike. Anyway, Kyle asks who wants to go first. Sutton says that she's nervous about the mechanical bull and suggests that Kyle goes first. And Kyle obliges. Before she gets on the bull, she goes to the operator and asks if he can not make it go so fast, that way that she could look good doing it. I forgot to clock how long she lasted on the bull, but when Sutton went on next, she only lasted 14 seconds. And while on the bull, Erica said in her confessional that if Sutton's bull riding skills are anything like her dick riding skills, then it's no wonder she can't get a date. Again, let it go. The ladies then raised their glasses, their cups, and their bottles one last time for Crystal's 40th birthday. Next day rolls in, and they're preparing to leave Vegas for Los Angeles. They go to the elevators, and once the elevator doors open, there is Davis. Who is Davis? One of the dancers from Magic Mike that Erica knows. Erica sarcastically presents opportunity to Sutton for her to apologize to Davis for how she acted, and which Sutton does. She apologizes, and Erica presses it some more by telling Sutton to apologize for saying that Davis, the dancer, was over the top and that the show was shitty. Now, to be fair, I don't remember Sutton saying it. I had to look back at my notes to see if that's exactly what Sutton said. Couldn't find anything, and I don't remember hearing it. So, and then Davis just suggests, next time they're in town, come on back to Magic Mike and stay for the full show. Sutton says that she'll do so. Should we hold you to that, Sutton? Because the audience will, and I'm sure the ladies will, if they should want to go back to Vegas to Magic Mike with you. And then after that, Sutton gets on Erica for putting words in her mouth and reiterates that she never said the show was shitty. And then Erica responds, it doesn't matter. Well, if Sutton never said that, then yeah, it does, because that implies that you're lying. And Erica, last episode, Sutton apologized to you then, and what did you say? Oh, I know. I'm good. Are you really? Just asking, because it didn't seem like you were when you did what you did, when you were presenting Sutton to apologize to Davis. And then Erica says in her confessional, her promise for Lent was not to fight with the ladies was still in effect, yet God gave her the pass to confront Sutton. Sure. And let's make a note that these are her words and not God's. And I'll bet God was looking down saying, like, how am I in this? Like, don't try to use me to justify our actions, Erica. Don't do that. And Sutton says that what happened at the elevators, that was shitty. And Garcelle doesn't buy the fact that once they were at the elevators and they opened, Davis just happened to have been there, insinuating that Erica could have planned the whole thing. We won't know for sure though. Once they pile into the Sprinter van, Dorit asks Sutton if she's okay. Okay. And she comes out with it, and she said that she didn't appreciate Erica embarrassing her like that and how mean it was. And once again, they brought up the Magic Mike scenario. Okay, I'm not even going to do this part because, like, okay, Sutton overreacted. She knew what she was into, but she overreacted. She shouldn't have gone. But Sutton can't get a second game. We get it. Move on already. And Sutton said that just because she walked out doesn't mean it should affect anyone, even though it did anyway. And that the moment it became a big deal is when people started following her. Okay. Dorit asked if she would do it again, would she have returned to the theater? Garcelle said it didn't matter. And Kyle calls Sutton unhinged. She has a lot of nerve. And the only thing she said that was true, that was that she had an over-top reaction. She did. Sorry. And that's at this point, Sutton was already over the conversation, and Erica wonders if it's because she feels cornered. And again, Sutton apologizes for ruining experiences, but it didn't have to be, because like some of them still stay regardless of Sutton leaving. Some of them still stayed to enjoy the show. Garcelle was the first to go out and to find Sutton and see if she's okay. And then Kyle came out. Crystal stayed. Erica stayed. Dorit even stayed. So it can't be that big of a deal, right? Just saying. And then Dorit, after accusing Sutton in her confessional of wanting a moment and wanting to be the center of attention, now wants to be sympathetic. I'm not buying it. And Garcelle wishes Dorit would have gone after her instead. Why? I honestly didn't understand why Garcelle said that, but she did. And then Dorit asks Garcelle, well, why didn't you tell her that she was overreacting? And Garcelle said, you don't know what I said to Sutton. And I have said that to her. Like, you weren't there when I said. You weren't there, so how would you know what I said to her or not? And then then she said, like, I wasn't going to bring Sutton back because she was already at a 10. And then Dorit asked, well, why couldn't you bring her from a 10 down to a 2? And Garcelle says, because I'm not her therapist. I'm her friend. And she's right. She's not a therapist. And then Sutton apologizes for the last time and says that she's done with the conversation. And Dorit says that she's trying to end it. Then don't say anything. Let Sutton end the conversation and you don't say anything about it. Nobody asked you, Dorit. She's already on my nerves from the last episode. Okay, they're back in Los Angeles, and Garcelle and Erica meet for lunch. Garcelle acknowledges about the many times that she and Dorit bump heads, and she says for someone who talks so much, she never listens. And that is true. And she's always making whatever Garcelle says about Dorit, which is also not fair, and I said that before. Erica thinks that she and Dorit will come around to have a better understanding of each other and will want to listen to each other. Well, only time will tell with that. And Garcelle remarks that she's glad that she's at a point where she could be sitting across from Erica and having a normal and civil conversation with her, and that Erica is more open instead of being guarded. And that leads to Garcelle bringing up what happened at the elevator doors. And she was expecting Erica to go off on Sutton the way she usually does. Erica says no. And Erica says that Sutton shouldn't have had to bring her bitterness into it and drag everyone else into it. And even Garcelle agrees with that, and it turns to like, what's really going on with Sutton? And she says that she doesn't understand why she's always defending Sutton, when she should be defending herself and fighting her own battles. Right, that's fair. And because there are many times when Sutton has defended herself when push came to shove. So yeah, Garcelle let Sutton fight her battles if that's what you feel. And Erica says that there's no need to be so uptight and clutch the pearls at every little thing. Maybe not, but certain things are not people's cup of tea. So again, if Sutton was really that concerned, she shouldn't have gone. But we know that's not the case, because she came in with stacks of bills and with pants on. She was ready. So she can cut the crap. So Sutton can cut the crap with that. Oh, finally, we're at the final scene where Kyle arrives at Sutton's house. Yeah, this should end well. They sit down for tea, and Kyle asks how Sutton is feeling after Vegas. Sutton says that Erica embarrassed specifically and intentionally embarrassed her. And you know what? Nobody can do anything with how Sutton feels from that. Sutton does her awkward impersonation of Erica at the elevators when they run into Davis. And when Kyle tries to say something, Sutton cuts her off and says that she's not finished yet. And Kyle does intend to interrupt when somebody is talking. It's like, Kyle, chill out and listen. And Kyle says it kind of had like a tone dripping of attitude mixed with sarcasm, like to let me know when you're finished talking. It's like, okay, Kyle, you need to chill out. And then she asks if Sutton is Dorit now, or it's like she's just rambling on and on too much. Like, Kyle, chill. And then Sutton tells Kyle not to speak to her like that before continuing to say her piece. And in her confessional, Sutton says that she and Kyle made this pact that they will always have each other's backs and that they'll be friends and to always have each other's backs. But the situation in Vegas lets her know that Kyle is not her friend. Duh. You saw that last season, the way she manhandled you and the way she accused you of lying, of having a miscarriage. Like, that's not a friend. So it's clear that she's not your friend, and that other departed housewife isn't her friend either. So I'm glad Sutton's finally seen the light about that. And she also realizes that Kyle doesn't have her back either. Yeah, we know. We see it. And she requests that Kyle defends Sutton, who she calls her friend. And this is where it gets even more nasty. Now, Sutton, Kyle already asked you if you are okay, because she doesn't think that you are implying that you're acting strangely. And Kyle says that just because she sees another perspective doesn't mean that she's not Sutton's friend. You're right. Your actions towards Sutton last season and your attitudes towards her, that's what makes Sutton believe that you're not her friend. So you're right. Having another perspective doesn't mean that you're not her friend. But that's not what she's talking about. And she said that she was offended when Sutton says that she butts in the conversation that she wasn't around for. Are you really offended by Are you offended that Sutton is accusing you of something, or are you offended because she told the truth and you can't take it? Because there are past experiences of you sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, where it had nothing to do with you. Sorry. Let's see. And another thing that was true was that Sutton has a habit of losing her shit. That's another true thing. She did it with like I mentioned in episode 3. She did it at Garcelle's outdoor birthday party. She did it in Magic Mike. That's number 2. And she did it when she had that problem. She was having problems with Crystal, when Crystal questioned her if she was that girl that doesn't see color. I mean, like, Sutton asked Kyle to name them, and she did. So, I mean, I can't get mad at Kyle for telling the truth about the times that Sutton lost her shit, because Sutton did. But it's like, it's at the point where Sutton kept repeating, name them, that Kyle really lost it. And it's like, let me talk. And now Kyle's not so sure if Sutton is okay because of that. So, and that's where the episode ends. I wonder what the next episode's going to be like. And will they drop the subject about Magic Mike and Sutton not getting a date? We'll see. Stay tuned.